Hello, I am Joy Caffrey, and I am here with Anaiis Salles, a transformational life coach, energy healing catalyst. She has traveled the United States teaching her methods to physicians, psychotherapists, and wellness professionals. And I've personally trained with her 28 years ago studying energy medicine. And I'm delighted that our paths are intersecting once again for both of us to continue doing what we're meant to be doing in the world. Today, I am sharing with Anaiis the Joyful Healing 4-deck Clarity Card Collection so that she can be teaching them to her students in her school, which is the Accelerated Conscious Evolution 3-year program. Later, I'm going to get you to tell us the title of your book as we at the end there. So welcome, Anaiis, and I want to reintroduce myself too for those who are watching this that don't know me yet. I'm Joy Caffrey, a holistic healing practitioner, energy medicine practitioner, motivational speaker, and artist, and I'm the creator of these Joyful Healing Clarity Cards. I want to be sharing with Anaiis now the way that I've used these cards in my practice and answer any of her questions that she may have as she wants to use them with her clients and or teach her students how to use them with their clients. So delighted. Okay.
I'm so glad to be here, Joy. This is wonderful.
Me too. Thank you. All right. So I was introduced to Marshall Rosenberg's work, Nonviolent Communication, about 15 years ago, and really started to understand the connection between our feelings and our met and unmet needs. And I understand that when our needs are not getting met, feelings that we are uncomfortable with and don't like having start to arise. And typically people put attention and energy towards getting rid of their feelings versus meeting their needs. So the impetus for these decks of cards was for me to help my clients to better understand their own feelings and how to use them to point them to the needs. And then in doing the work over time, I learned that some of my clients had a hard time distinguishing between a feeling and a body sensation. And then I created the 3rd deck called Body Awareness. The 4th deck in this collection is the Soul Care Strategies. And I'm really excited to share these strategies and where they came from. So after 28 years of doing energy healing work, in those sessions, in literally thousands of sessions, I would ask clients at the end of their session, what is their higher self wisdom asking of them to support their soul's journey? So these cards are the collection of those answers. Okay, so Anaiis, I have sent Anaiis one of the prototype collection. So she has them for herself. Yeah. So Anaiis, the way that I would use these cards in a session, I would first, after the client and I have an initial introduction, get a sense of, is this client struggling more with their emotional challenges or their physical challenges? And I would be listening to them and tuning into what I'm witnessing and observing. So let's say we start with a client that's struggling more emotionally with the situations that are arising in their life. So I would ask my client to take the entire deck and to flip it over one at a time on a table that's between us. I actually use my healing table to do it, and to lay out the cards. My only request is that I ask that they don't overlap the cards when they lay them out, that they could lay them out as far apart as they want and as close as they want, as long as they don't overlap one of the words. So my clients will ask me, is this what I'm feeling right now, or in this moment in the session? And I'll say, let's pick out the cards of the feelings that you're resonating in this moment, in the last week, and or feelings that you tend to notice that are a pattern that you tend to hold. So my clients will flip over the cards and lay them out. And so far, the least amount of cards ever laid out was 12 cards. And the most was the entire deck of 54. So after the clients lay the cards out on the table, we take a pause to reflect. What are they witnessing? What are they seeing? What are they noticing when they see the cards come out? And usually that's a beautiful moment to open to compassion for the human condition and how much we can be experiencing at any one time. Let me pause and check in with you there if you have any questions about that so far.
I don't. I think it's a really very simple and very powerful process. And I think it gives people an opportunity in a moment to really align self reflection with sensation, with experience in a way that may be new for them within the context of being witnessed in a really neutral way. So that's very powerful.
Yeah. The witnessing is really powerful. So before we move on with the cards, I might ask if I noticed a client's hesitation in putting down a card, or I really watch their body language as they're putting down their cards. And so then it's a beautiful opportunity to say, "Well, tell me about that one." And then some clients too will decide that they lay certain cards this way and certain cards that way, or even I've had clients lay them on certain angles because there's a story behind every aspect of the way they lay them down. And then I'll ask them, perhaps they want to arrange the feelings they've laid out by, oh, as it relates to my relationship with my husband, or as it relates to work, or as it relates to my feeling lost in my meaning and purpose in life. And so they'll organize them a little bit. And I'll ask them to reflect on what feelings are they not wanting to have. And then we pull out the needs and desires deck. And I ask them, now let's flip over this deck. And if this is a need or a desire that you're yearning for, keep it right. If it's something that you have so much of and you love it and you want it, but you have so much of it and it's abundance, you can put it down out of the way. But if it's something that you have but you're afraid of its scarcity, then keep it upright. And so then my clients will go through this entire deck and laying them down associated with the feelings. And then we'll reflect on, oh, what came up, what arose. And typically what I'll do is ask my clients, they've laid down somewhere between 30 or 40 cards. You'd be surprised how many they lay down. And they're surprised at how many they lay down. And then I'll ask them, what's on the front burner? Pick out 5 to 7 cards that we want to focus on this week, so I know where to take the energy healing work. I know what's up for them and how can we pin to what's yearning for attention. So after they select those 5 to 7 cards, one card that's really good that will often show up is respect. My clients are yearning for respect, and or to be heard, or for clarity. I'm giving you some of the cards that show up the most. So I'll pick out that card for respect and hold it up and ask them, how do you know you're being respected? What does respect feel like for you? And I'll ask 10 different people, I'll get 10 different answers. Like respect is when my husband gives me eye contact when we're talking, or respect is when my boss doesn't interrupt me when I'm speaking, right? And so there'll be 10 different answers, and some of the cards they won't know, like how do you know the need for clarity is getting met? They might not have an answer, so that's what we need to dig into. And so I ask them to help articulate, how do you know that need's getting met? Because then you know how to ask for it when it's not getting met. And so these cards are just wonderful in spilling out conversations. I'm amazed at how many stories and memories on a first-time session. I can learn so much about a client. And observing just the way they lay out the cards, I can tell you their Myers-Briggs. Are they introverted or extroverted? Are they thinking or feeling? It shows up right away in the way they lay out the cards. Recently, I've been seeing some clients that have a complex regional pain syndrome. And so they have a lot of physical ailments in their body. And for those clients, the body awareness deck is much more appropriate to start with, because they really need to be acknowledged and witnessed for the amount of intensity of pain that they might be feeling in their body, and to have it known and acknowledged and seen for what's happening inside of them. So we might start with the body awareness deck. Part of what prompted me to do the body awareness deck was I had a client in my office, and she was expressing how irritated and grumpy and grumbly she was. And it wasn't like 45 minutes into the session that she acknowledged she was having an intense earache and that she didn't realize how connected that was to her emotional body.
That's what I'd love to share with you, Joy, is the opportunity for people who haven't grown up in an environment where they were given the space and the guidance to connect feelings, then the outer layer of emotion, and then what happens in the body.
Right.
So many people don't have this context. This is
Yes.
a great way for them to get it.
Yes. Well, I want to say that I learned that from you 28 years ago. And so I've been so lucky to be able to develop that so thoroughly in my body, that understanding to be able to support my clients in that way.
Yeah, it's wonderful for physical transformation and emotional transformation, and people begin to realize that they are empowered to
Mhm.
begin to facilitate things that they want to see reflected differently in their lives.
Yeah. And that empowerment comes from recognizing that they can create the strategies to meet their needs, and maybe recognizing where their suffering patterns are creating attachments to strategies that don't serve them, right? And so we help them to release that suffering pattern, to understand how a strategy that is more in alignment with their brilliance and their
Mm-hmm.
purest essence is more appropriate. And that's why I love these soul care strategy cards, because they came from that beautiful wisdom within someone. So literally, I think my clients get so surprised that the strategies can be so simple.
Yes.
Simple, like sweep your floors, breathe, love on a pet, forgive yourself, write a love letter, garden. I'm kind of just reading from
Mm-hmm.
the many cards that I have here. Okay. So that's kind of in a nutshell the short course of how I use these cards. And maybe I'd love to, is there any questions that you may have, or reflections in your receiving the decks?
I don't. I'm just tremendously excited because where I am in my work, it's been more beneficial for people who come to me for transformational coaching or for physical healing to have this kind of preparation before they get to me,
Ah, right.
because the I would then take what this reveals to me in the work that I would do with people, and then I would translate it into the energetic dynamics that are beneath the thoughts, beneath the emotions, beneath the feeling, and beneath the pain, because everything is energy.
Right. Yeah.
So that would be a way I know that I will be using it, and then I will be training the people who work with me as certified facilitators to use this information, which is absolutely going to do great, great, great things for their own capacity for clarity and self reflection and self awareness and what's going on in their bodies, and giving them a platform to really combine with the work I do. How do we unpack this, and then where do we locate where this lives in not only your physical body but all your subtle bodies?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
makes sense. I don't make sense to you. It's high woo woo for other people, but that's okay.
Makes sense to me. Yes. Well, I'll be delighted to work with you and with your students, and to follow up and get these cards out into the hands as of many people as we can.
Yes,
Heal our planet one body at a time.
that's what we do. We put ourselves out of work, right? I'm so ready.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
thank you for today. And
Oh, Joy, it's a total pleasure. I really like, this is so beautiful. This is such a beautiful contribution that you're making. It's such a beautiful extension of information that was out there but not organized in this way, that will really expand the understanding of that domain of work, that body of work, and especially after COVID.
yes, yes. And
People are, yeah.
COVID gave me the opportunity to create the two new decks.
I
Just
know, it gave me the opportunity to write my book too. That's what I was doing. It's like, I can't see clients like this. And I had gotten the guidance in that
yes,
August of 2019. It's like, you got to stop seeing people.
yes. Yeah.
Broke my heart. And then it was like, write the book. So I did do that.
Right.
But it's,
Can you give the title of the book before we go
oh, sure.
into the Kickstarter?
It's because I'm working with regeneration on all levels of the body, emotions, feeling, physical, it has to do with getting down to the core, which is our DNA. And so the title of the book is The Living Spiral of Transformation. Discover the hidden power in your diverse and unique DNA, because it's all coded. All of what we've just discussed all gets laid down in the DNA, and then it's reflected back in what the body does, what the thoughts are, what the emotions, the entire human experience. But what people don't realize is this is your vehicle, you get to drive it, and the DNA are the keys to your car.
Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to that. And I will keep people posted on when they can start reading Anaiis's book. And in the meantime, too, I would love all of your support for the Kickstarter for the Joyful Healing Clarity Card 4-deck collection, so that we can get them out into every healthcare practitioner's office and into the hands of their clients.